Mahatma Gandhi, the famous leader of India, said something to the effect of a society should be judged based on how they treat the most disadvantaged people in that society. How are we doing on this item? Really bad. And even when I say how are we doing on it, well, I mean, there's a lot of human labor that goes into looking after other humans. And, you know, somebody the other day posted a meme and said, you know, if I was a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, I would just start spending money to fix problems like, you know, the homeless problems in some city, or, you know, start chipping away with my own money. What do you need billions of dollars for yourself for? Get going with your philanthropy. There was an item resolved. It was Bombardier, which is a Quebec-based company, multinational, and they do a lot of capital works. In other words, they build things, railroads and subways and various other things. And there was a big commotion because in Canada, the Prime Minister, Trudeau, ordered his Justice Minister basically to give a pass to Bombardier for doing illegal acts, basically bribing the Gaddafi family of Libya in order to get contracts in Libya. And it was huge amounts of money, unbelievably huge amounts of money that went to Gaddafi's son. And in the end, Trudeau had to fire his justice minister because she wouldn't take the direction that you had to let Bombardier off the hook for doing this corrupt act. And, well, what does it all mean? Well, it's about business. You know, it might be illegal in Canada for Canadian companies to do these illegal things like bribing foreign dictatorships or corrupt regimes. But the Prime Minister Trudeau looked at it and said, we need these jobs in Quebec. That's where they make a lot of this stuff. We need these jobs here in Canada. And if Bombardier can't compete with all these other multinationals based in other countries who are willing to do corrupt practices, then we're going to lose out. The jobs are still going to get done in places like Libya by foreigners, and our people in Quebec are not going to have employment. So his take on it was, you have to play the game. And the Justice Minister didn't see it that way. So she was outed, and, well, who was right? I suppose the problem is that we don't have a world police force enforcing worldwide laws. It's a double-edged sword, because if you did have one worldwide police force, they could hunt down corrupt people everywhere on the planet and perhaps get the corruption stopped. People are very afraid of one world government because some of the people who have proposed it are people like the Bushes and the Clintons and the Bilderbergers, and people say, well, these are elite people, and if we give them power over the whole world, then they're going to use their power against the small guy, because all they're about is enriching themselves and their friends and their cronies, and they are the corrupt. Nevertheless, if we can get past these kind of corrupt politicians that we've been saddled with, and we had people of higher consciousness, we could have a worldwide police force and worldwide rules about the way that business is done. The other issue I heard today was, well, it's the microcosm and the macrocosm. In other words, what's really small in your personal environment versus what's going on in large environments in your city, your state, or your country, or the whole world. And somebody said to me, because I don't believe that due to accidents of birth, some people born today into billionaires' families should inherit billions of dollars and all kinds of property and lands and corporations. But they do, because that's the way things are on planet Earth. So this person said, well, don't you want to pass your house on to your children? Shouldn't you be able to do that? The point of the matter is, this way of looking at things is very small-minded. And this is the previous generations to us did look at things this way. In other words, if you were my child, then you will inherit my stuff. It's very small-minded because all of the people on this planet are your family. We are all one species. But human history is incredibly small-minded. It's like my family comes first and my country comes first. And we don't look at other people the same way as we look at people who are closer to us. This is an ancient thing that's come down long before people probably realized that we were one species. Maybe they did, I don't know. But they never really looked at it and said, if you're all one species, you're all one family. And indeed, biologists have found that through things like mitochondrial DNA, we do have a common ancestry with people long in the past, all the people on the whole planet. So, a great, I don't know how many greats, grandmother as the great, so many greats, I don't know how many thousands of years ago it was, but we all had a common grandmother. And apparently, they weren't married, but somewhere else there was somebody who was a common grandfather to every person on the planet. So we are all one family. And this idea of we only pass things down to the next generation if they're our son or our daughter, is very small-minded. And it's really the way that the elite 1%ers, the billionaire class, have got to be so wealthy. Now, there are oddball things. Some of these billionaires are, like Bill Gates or Bezos. They did it through their own business, Microsoft and Amazon. So, some people will say, well, if they can do it, then I can become a billionaire. There's not that many billionaires on the planet. And, I remember in high school statistics, my mathematics teacher said, I don't buy lottery tickets personally because statistically you cannot win. He said it was basically what he considered an involuntary tax on stupid people. So even though someone, usually, depending on which lottery it is going to win the lottery, it's just that there are so many people that have got so many tickets on the lottery. It's a very teeny tiny chance. Yes, but you have you have a chance to become a Jeff Bezos or a Bill Gates. But realistically, it's like, someone who's playing minor league sports, whatever kind of sport it is. And, some people have got parents that are just totally focused on getting their child into one of the professional sports leagues. And, what is the actual real chance of that child getting into a professional sports league? Well, there is a chance if they're very good. But, for every one child that makes it to some kind of major league sports, how many thousands of other children didn't make it? I'm kind of winding around in circles on this topic because if we're going to change things, if we are going to stop the outrageous concentration of assets and money and property in the hands of such a tiny few, while there are billions of others who have virtually nothing on the planet, we're going to have to start looking very closely at the way we assume things need to be going forward. I always come back to when somebody asks me the question, all right, what's your solution? The best solution I can give you is Charles Eisenstein's roadmap off capitalism and off the money economy. The book is called Sacred Economics, and it's the best thing I've seen to answer the question of what would you do? So, if you go to Amazon, you can look up Charles Eisenstein, find the Sacred Economics book, and you can get a free download of the ebook, the Kindle ebook, and it gives you a good chunk of the book for free. And you can get a pretty good idea that he's not full of bullshit. It's really, really good. Somebody else wants to say, how many lifetimes before we adopt Mr. Eisenstein's ways? Well, either we pass down this dystopian world to our children and great-grandchildren, etc., or we say we've had enough. I guess I've had enough. It's cold out, and I gotta change the tape.